last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I've got them now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I just need the case now, but that's not out until it's out and it should be out like end of this month. That's what they've said. So
This is the case because we just went
yeah,
live. We're talking about Jade's case for his his future PC. He just got his RAM sticks, but yeah, like it's crazy how expensive it is, and I'm very excited to see what kind of power your new PC will be able to put out.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. So yeah, I guess with that out of the way, of course, welcome everyone to today's Thursday's Identity Development stream. We have the one, the only Jade on stream. It's been a little while since we last saw him, but good to be back for sure. And what do you think we'll be looking at today, Jade?
I'm sorting out. We're on a new sort of material for the furniture and
Oh,
stuff.
like a new workflow? Yeah.
Well, it's the same workflow. I just need to add some stuff that I wanted. We wanted to add. I'm
Okay.
so glad that we decided to do it because it just gives some stuff at the extra edge.
Oh, I hear you.
It's just furniture stuff. Adding so because obviously players are going to be able to customize. They're going to have a selection of woods that they can put on furniture, for example. Yeah. So we want to be able to give them that option, but we want to be able to keep the normal maps and the AO maps of the actual object on it. So we just had to, so John created a material that I could use to add all that sort of extra detail, which is what I've been doing. So you can see for these ones at the moment, they're all using. They've got the new material on, but I haven't updated them yet. So as you can
Okay.
see with the black marks and that on them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So
But
we.
these ones over here,
Ooh.
looking not nice. So yeah.
Yeah, having updated material is always nice. Way more customization options. Cool stuff. And yeah, we actually got a bit of a flyby of this area with Mark last stream because he was doing UI icons. He actually finished them all up. We went through your little test area here, which is pretty cool. And he even showed off some of his tattoos he's done
Yeah.
as he's been here, and we got to see a skull one that we haven't showed off yet, actually. But yeah, it was cool seeing all of your objects in here. I mean, not everything is yours, but you've contributed a huge amount. And yeah, I guess we get to see you work your craft once more today. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, trust me, I know someone's been on here because I only have to go click on here and then find a fabric bed.
Ooh.
Which is
Oh.
obviously not going to be an option.
Yeah, that's
There's another one over there.
whoa. Unique seeing that. Um, wow, it's
That's obviously not going to be an option.
yeah, I hear you. Cool. So how long of a process
What I'm
does
going to
this
do
really
now,
consume? Yeah?
well, first things first, I've got all my new textures and stuff that I've needed to get. So I've been trying to bake a load of textures today to try and get them ready for tonight, so I can just do this tonight because baking takes ages. It puts a lot of pressure on the CPU and stuff. So 9 times out of 10, OBS will probably be crashing because obviously I'm baking.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd get all that out of the way and then I can just do the easy stuff tonight. So I just moved this over to a different screen. But first things first, obviously these are materials that have already been set up, so I would duplicate this instead of create new ones. Makes it a bit easier, plus it keeps everything correct. So yeah, and I've just got to rename it. It's boring, but at least people get to see what the difference, I suppose.
No, this will be interesting. Pardon me, very nice. But yeah, other introductory items I'd want to get into. Yesterday, it was really cool. We actually had both Sean, John, and Charles partake in a Q&A with one of the largest French communities, quite possibly the largest, Identity QG. You might be familiar with some of their members, Jade.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've met Dr. I think he even put his username on the old CRT as a a test thing once.
Yeah,
That was
oh god,
actually
yeah.
cool. So we actually got to sit down, speak with them. It was excellent. There were a lot of really cool questions. I'm not too sure if the VOD has been uploaded just yet, but if you guys want to check that out, definitely give Identity QG a search. That's all one word. And there were some really interesting things that we discussed, not necessarily all related to uh, game, like the actual game of Identity, but also just um, how we've been really working with how the community has, I mean, naturally, rather really wanting to play Town Square. Same with us. We really want it to be out, but we got to discuss some cool things like budget and things like that. So definitely check it out if that's right up your alley. I got to get a VOD for you guys, but it was really cool to have them do that. In the future, as we approach Town Square, we will definitely try and sit down with uh, other folks that might have questions from their own individual communities, because it's always the best to get the answers straight from the developers. They're usually super busy, which is why that it's just us two on stream right now. John and Sean used to be able to come on quite frequently, but things got I mean, work has gotten really busy for them. So, though Motown does show up occasionally, even John showed up, I think, a few weeks ago at the end of the stream. But we're gonna try and make time specifically to sit down with community members and talk it out about some stuff. We used to do that a fair bit before, like I think around late 2017. We had a few interviews with like Dynasty, Power Gaming 7, Dragonfly Todd, things like that. It's cool that we're getting them on the mic again, like the developers, and they're able to speak with the community. I think that's really good. So there was that yesterday. Today we also posted more clothing work by Umat. That guy's amazing. I don't know how he does it. I'll drop a link in the chat below. We have a laced pants design along with a matching t-shirt. Um, I said accompanying shirt design in the tweet, mostly because internally we don't really have a specific name for that shirt design yet. I think we've just been referring to it as like a quote unquote gothic shirt, but it doesn't really speak that way to some people, I'd say. It's just kind of a temporary placeholder name. So, but regardless, the designs that Umud has been pumping out have been tremendously awesome. Give that a look when you can, if you haven't checked it out already. Um, I think that's about it for housekeeping items. Of course, the devlog went up, I believe, about a week ago now. Check that out if you guys haven't. We did get to learn a little bit more about the Gangs of Warfare Insider, new website stuff, and current development progress, which is great. We are still on that final task with the integration between the UI and the housing system. In the dev blog, it was discussed that we did run into a few quote unquote showstopper bugs that needed our attention immediately. All of the major stuff has been taken care of and we've put it behind us, which is excellent. We're now knocking out, as John says, the remaining minor issues found by our testers, and things are looking great. I do hop on Town Square every now and then to help report certain things with the housing system. Sometimes John or Cyber will say, "Hey, Beach, go hop on, check this out for me." Even Arthur too with the UI stuff, and just trying to contribute where I can. Same with the moderators; they help a lot. And while there aren't any in the Twitch chat today, I don't think I do like to give them a shout out because they dedicate their free time to doing this stuff. So definitely big thanks to the mods for helping answer questions when they do pop in. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. As per usual, I'll definitely try and answer questions where I can. I may not be one of the founders of Identity, but I did get them on stream quite a bit in the past, and I have a huge selection of Twitch clips I can take from. Also, I can write down questions and get stuff answered for the next stream. Speaking of which, I actually have a few that I can actually discuss that I got down from last time. One person was wondering how easy will it be to get addicted to substances in the full game of Identity? So the answer John gave me was that addiction isn't immediate and it's not a Boolean thing either. It's not like a 0 or a 1. There are certain levels of addiction. Certain substances are more addictive than others, heroin being the most addictive. And you will get kind of like indicators like shakiness and the character movement and things like that. There won't be like a UI bar saying this is how addicted you are. It'll be more subtle. But in terms of how easy it is to get addicted to drugs in the full game, It's kind of variable depending on what substance you're dealing with, how frequently you take it, of course. But he did tell me that heroin is by far the most addictive substance. Another question that was kind of interesting, it had to do with the shop that we have up on our store page, or the shop page, sorry, on our website, I should say. A lot of people have been eyeing that penthouse you made, Jay, like a whole bunch of people. Like I get messages daily asking if there's any sort of upgrade path to the penthouse, or if there's any way to possibly trade in items you already have for store credit. And while there's no specific answer I can give regarding that, I have been letting the developers know that the penthouse is an extremely sought after item, and we may be able to see something of the sort in the future. But right now, I'm just kind of letting them know. There's not really a concrete
Yeah,
answer to that question, but people like it, dude. I mean, we got to see it. We've got to see you make it first and foremost. And John had a decorated picture in Deblog 19 showing
yeah,
off his penthouse. It's just a nice interior, so I see why so many people are sought after it. I'd want it too. So we'll see if there's some sort of upgrade path for that in the future, or trading in items for store credit, something like that. No promises, but I am definitely letting the developers know that there's a huge demand for that apartment. And I might have a few more written down here, but just wanted to pop in with you, Jade. So we've seen you're dragging these little material things
hmm
onto certain objects on the ward. Well, that's not a wardrobe we're dealing with right now. Whatever this is called, and you can choose like particular parts of that furniture piece, which is pretty neat. Um, so did
Well,
like,
this item, for example, has got one, two, three, four textures on. Now,
oh,
usually, if you would say if I was going to model this and players couldn't do anything to it, then I would it'd only have one texture map on it. But because we want to be able to allow you to change the wood from here and different metal fixings and stuff like that, we have to go a different route. Which is
oh,
why Identity's got such massive like customization.
mm-hmm.
So, for example, this is the material for the top of this wood here. This very very top. So
Excellent.
the way that we're doing it is obviously I want to be able to use any type of wood, which is what it's going to be here, here, and here. But then the item's going to have its own AO map and its own normal map.
Hmm.
So this is wood one, I believe, which would be this one here. I'll just drag that to there. And I want to add a normal map. And then, so it's obviously it's got the material normal map and then it's got the object normal map.
Yay.
Then saving it and then just dragging it to the right place. So in this case, go up here, and the easiest way of doing it, obviously I know it's there, but I can highlight it, because I know where it is anyway.
Awesome.
And now it's got
Yeah.
the right texture.
Hey. Pardon me. Yeah, it's looking cool. Kind of looks like there's a face, like the handles, the mouth
Oh, other
for the
people have said
baskets,
that.
right? It does. Cool.
So Wood 2
Um,
is going to be different.
yeah. So I'll hop to the Twitch chat to help answer questions. Sorry, I was taking so long. Also, there's quite a few hides in the chat for you, Jade. They all miss you streaming, dude.
Hello, I'll be back soon. The kids are back to school on Wednesday, so
Hey,
hopefully I can
freedom
get
for
back
the
to it
parents.
then. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, we have a few people asking about the pool table. So Antoine actually built that. He did a very good job, a very
Yeah.
colorful piece. Pool will not be interactable at the beginning of Town Square, but it is something that John wants to make playable. So you will be able to shoot some pool eventually, just not right off the bat when Town Square is up. Some questions about the date for when Town Square is coming out. We don't have a specific date, and that's only because we're just finishing up the final programming task remaining for Town Square's release. Like right now, you guys see us put a lot of art out still. That's just because we still have artists that want to do stuff, and we have things that we can have built, but it's not necessary for Town Square's launch. We're just waiting on pretty much the integration between the UI and the housing system to be a-okay, all of the errors are rectified. There have been some bugs in that area, as mentioned in the most recent devlog, but once that is good to go, we can proceed with getting it up and available on Steam for everyone. So it's really just dependent on how quickly we can finish up that final task. Um, I know I mean, having a specific date would be cool, but it's best to play it safe this way and just report as we keep making progress. Um, Progress is made every day. It's just that that final task hasn't really appeared to have moved for a while because of the amount of things that we've had to touch up and fix during that final push. But we're just basically waiting for all of the features to be working as intended before we get it up there for you guys. Uh, but yeah, in terms of it, like when I help test with the devs, I access it through Steam. I know Jade has shown it in his library a few times on stream. That is where you guys will be able to get it. As John mentioned in the most recent devlog, we'll actually be able to get you guys your Steam keys for the download out earlier than when Town Square will be available, just to get it in your library. You won't be able to launch it, of course, because it'll be, you'll be trying to access it before it is available, but he's ready to get things underway for that. I'm not too sure when he will be putting out the keys, but it's a very exciting prospect nonetheless. I'm very hyped for this. Just to read and reiterate what he said in the past, once we launch the integration feature, like being able to link your Steam account with your identity account, currently there's an option for that on your profile page. It's not quite functional yet, it's just kind of there, so we'll be able to put it there. But he says once you've linked your account, you'll be given a key which, when entered into the Steam client, will add Identities Town Square to your game library. You won't need to log in to play, as we know who you are based on your Steam account. You'll still need to wait until Town Square is officially released, but it's cool. That's how it'll be rolled out to you guys. And yeah, scrolling through once again, thank you everyone for popping in. We did go live for just a minute, about like an hour ago. Jade just testing stuff out. So if you're curious about that, that's what happened. Scrolling down. Hey, everyone. But yeah, once again, to reiterate, the pool table will be usable eventually. It will be a lot of fun playing that. Ooh, here's an interesting question. Will there be parole officers in game for people that get out of prison? I don't believe that's currently planned. Um, how the prison system works is that if you commit a heinous crime, you'll go to prison. If you want to try and get some sort of defense together, you can apply for a court case after you've been sent to prison. But pretty much once you are set free from, I think the max waiting time still is 45 minutes from prison. You don't need to be on parole or anything like that. You will have a criminal record, um, but I don't think that there will be any sort of parole officers. Still, it's a cool idea. I'm going to write it down and see if I can get more information for you next time. Shaddai. It's a cool name. Write it down. 1 second. Just gonna check through my big list of clips in the past to make sure that there isn't a discussion on it previously. Ooh, we do have one. Will criminals be put on parole after prison? This was recorded April 5th, and I will link it in the chat below. Maybe our answer is already here. Let me know if that clip works. Cool. Ooh, good question by Matrix Gaming. Why hasn't the dev tracker just changed to the current bugs, etc., instead of having it doing nothing at the moment? Um, we just kind of like during that final task where we're making sure that, furniture can be placed correctly and the UI is updated. properly, where the wallpapers will change, the UI is updated properly. During that testing, we actually discovered, as John mentioned, some quote unquote showstoppers, which are deeper bugs within the game's engine. And they were kind of just found during that final testing phase, mostly due to how much like inventory management we were doing during that part. We still are, but we did find some pretty substantial hurdles that we have since overcome, which is great. But in terms of adding like a section for that on the tracker, it's hard to say, because it would be cool to just have exactly like if we run into another issue like that, to like put it underneath the current task that we're testing. But at the same time, I think people would get upset if they saw more stuff added to that final testing task. So it's a decision that will probably be better left to the boys up top, my superiors, but it is a good suggestion.
So I just uploaded some textures.
Hey. What's your CPU usage at right now? Is it like max or?
Uh,
I don't know if you want to pop it open if it's not like Task Manager. Yeah, I got the screen to go black. I apologize if that was my fault.
oh, no.
Did I kill it?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, all right.
CPU's at 60%.
Oh, that's still pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
you aren't baking or rendering anything, but
No.
all right. Can we fix the display or do
Hang
we
on.
gotta reboot? I am the dummy of the day. I apologize for killing your stream, Jade. I just wanted to see your
Sorry.
CPU usage. Ugh, I feel bad now.
I should be able to move it. No. Nope.
We gotta reboot.
I don't know why it's doing this. Maybe it's OBS being a dick. Well, I'll be back in a second.